My little munchkins, my little crones, and my sunflowers. How are you on this Monday evening? Well, you know what time it is. What time is it, baby Crone?
It is Real Housewives of Potomac.
Well, before we get into Real Housewives of Potomac, we want to say welcome back to Life Monday, and we hope that you had a wonderful weekend. And for my sick and shut-in, for the beginning of the week, stay encouraged. That is the word we're giving. Stay encouraged. You know, I'm going to start thinking of something to say positive to my sick and shut-in.
I like the sound of
Stay encouraged. That is the word that I give for you. And for the rest of you, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope everything went well for you. Really, I do. So along with that, you all know that I do tarot readings during the weekday. They brief. So I can only do, if some of them seem a little shabby or not, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm doing them and you understand, but they are intense. So I want to say thank you for supporting that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, you're supporting me on what else? On YouTube.
Yep, and Instagram.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, now let's go on to
Real Housewives of Potomac.
Okay, now with Real Housewives of Potomac, I get a blur. I don't even know what my pet peeve was because it was kind of boring. Other than when they had the luncheon with I have a pet peeve. I'm going to tell you what my pet peeve is.
She found her pet peeve.
I got a pet peeve, but there's two people I want to read on, but I definitely want to read on Candace and her husband. What's her husband's name?
Chris.
Because I think they got problems.
Yeah, they really do.
I think they got some problems, and the reason what make me think so is the way that Candace act at the luncheon with her and Robin.
Yes.
And to not be able to get over it, and your mother is a therapist who's trying to help her, but she just don't say nothing. Something is not right. That little woman is very angry. And it's like she's clinging to something to be angry over, to me. My opinion. So I definitely want to read on it. But my pet peeve with them is, why they always dressing up like that? They just look corny. It was so refreshing to see Robin come in a sweatsuit dressed normal. I'm like, why are they dressing with lace and frillies and frillies? They just look fake.
That is true.
They just look fake. Who walk around like that? That's old white Hollywood.
Yes.
And it's corny.
Even I fell for the okie doke. I'm like, that's what people with money do with celebrities. But then when you think about all the other Housewives franchise, they're not really dressing up like that. I'm like, you're right. They really are just
it's over the
natural.
Top. It's over the top.
It really is.
They look corny. They just look too dressed up. Dressed up. What do you mean? Dressed up like they going to church, or dressed up like they going to a gala.
Yes.
They just overly dress for the lives they live.
That is honestly true.
And now they're trying to throw in, Karen is, always want to just throw in, I'm in this big old gala. It's boring. I said it.
Yeah, I mean.
And then Karen is saying, I'm going to put these things in the bag and I'm going to put the names. And it's just boring. And that's why I can't remember. Okay, baby. Okay. You got it. I've said it.
Well, pretty much because the best part of the episode was really at the end. We're just going to start from the top and keep it on going.
So you ain't going to say what your pet peeve is after I said mine?
My pet peeve is
you don't have to go deeply into it.
No, my pet peeve was just Karen and Gazelle. No, my pet peeve was Candace and Robin. Just their entire scene together of them talking was my pet peeve.
Okay. We'll get into that.
Yes.
That's the best part of it.
That was the best part.
The rest of it was a yawn.
Yes. I mean,
but I still love them. I just wish that they would they're starting to be, to me, they're starting to be unrealistic. It's starting to be galas and it's starting to be like, I'm flaunting my wealth. I'm just flaunting this rich money. I'm in the store. I'm drinking champagne with tags on them. Did they wash out the glasses? It's too much. It's just too much. Too corny. Come on, people. If you're following me, let me know if it's me. I mean, come on. It's a lot of people out there that have very good jobs, make good money, live like they live. Okay, but we don't walk around like, oh, darling.
No, we don't.
Oh, I got to go to a gala. I got to wear these red bottoms. It's just over that we just dress normal.
Yeah, we do. And there is dressing formal, but they dress like they're going to a high-end fashion show.
And some of the fashion is ghastly.
It is. Some of it is, honestly.
That's my opinion. Yeah, that's what you tune in for, to hear what I have to say about it. And like I said, this is one of my favorite shows. It's just that I'm starting to notice things, and maybe I didn't notice it until one of my followers said, "They phony," and I was like, "The Housewives of Atlanta, the Housewives of Potomac are phony." And I guess when I really looked at it, when the person said that, I begin to see it. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's why I'm complaining about it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it, but then someone said they phony. And when I was like, oh, they're phony. And then when I really looked at it, I was like,
yes. Well, we started this episode off. Well, first off, the entire theme for this episode was Mother's Day. So we know.
And then it's so old.
I know. We're getting ready to approach Mother's Day in a few months. So
they need to do something better. I think they need to make their show, this needs to be more current.
Yes.
Because I hate looking at old stuff.
Yes,
like
and
this.
I'm not going to lie, especially because we follow some of these cast members on social media.
Yeah, it just don't fit. That's what it is.
Cringy when they post a picture from Mother's Day and they're just like, yep. And the thing is that do they have to wait to post these pictures so that way they don't spoil what they filmed for in the show? Because imagine having to post your Mother's Day pictures 6 years to a year late, 6 months to a year later. Be like, oh yes, I appreciate my mom. Look how beautiful we looked on Mother's Day. But yeah, that was like months ago. Now that was a little bit of my pet peeve.
Let me say what I think. The more I'm thinking about it, I like the Housewives better when they weren't on the air, when they didn't go in and start talking, because by them talking, you hear a lot.
That is
and
true.
It ruins the mystique of the show. They can have podcasts, but I think that they should never be able to talk about anything in their lives. And if that's the case, then they don't need to have podcasts.
That is true.
I think it's ruining it for me, because you get to know what's going on in their present.
Yes.
That the past is irrelevant. So when you're hearing something a year old, it's a yawn, because you already know. You know what I mean? Like I already know that Robin and are not close.
Right.
You know things, and so by them being on air, it's ruining the whole franchise for me.
Right.
What do you think?
Yes, it does.
It's ruining it. It's good when the commentators are doing it,
and
maybe getting information from the actors. Mm-hmm. That's differently. But to see the actors out there talking and giving their own comments, it's killing the mystique for me. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, or the way they try to promote it. I think it was Gazelle. And she was posting a picture of herself. I'm sorry, this is just like modern day news. I just want to throw out there. She had posted a picture of herself outside in the snow. And then she said she was like having a long day in the snow, getting ready to go watch Real Housewives of Potomac.
Or when we see pictures like Ashley naked, pretty much, with a bathing suit.
Yes.
It's just too much.
In the snow.
And you know what? I love Ashley. But Ashley want to be a tart. And she has 2 sons. And she's so beautiful. She doesn't have to.
No.
She doesn't. She's always in the kitchen. That's what I'm saying. It's ruining it.
Yeah.
It's like when Ashley is everywhere.
Ashley
flaunting her body. Ashley, baby.
And then you limit the comments on your post because people are commenting on the fact that you are showing yourself disrespectful online and you have kids.
You know what? I'm trying to be objective. You're raising 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want your son to bring that woman home?
It's a good one.
And you bisexual.
Mm.
Ashley, you're doing the most.
She really is.
I think you really need to center on what do I want my boy's mentality to be? And what kind of woman do I want them to bring home to me? And you start with yourself.
Yes.
I don't know if that helps.
That does.
Because it just seems she's over the top and too much. It's just,
yes,
don't look good. Sorry. And I'm not saying, because I don't want to come off like an old hag, but how you feeling?
That's very good, because towards the end of this episode, somebody did point out at the Mother's Day event, it was Charisse that asked Ashley how her divorce process was going, and she said that she still has yet to sign the papers, even though her family says that she should for her mental health.
So they think that Ashley is out there still responding that her husband don't want her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, for Karen celebrating her mom, she got a G for Georgia tattooed on her ankle. I forget.
That was cute. That was cute. But that was funny though. Did Karen act a Piro D fool? A Piro dime D fool? Yes, she did with that. And did you see those toes?
Mm-hmm.
She must have been wearing, I don't know. Karen, you was wearing shoes much too small. I don't know what happened to them girl. I don't know. She got bunions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Girl. And she done had some foot operations.
But yeah, and then her daughter also had gotten a matching tattoo just for the celebration of Mother's Day.
And don't her daughter just look like a combination between her mother and her father?
Yes, she does. And
she have a beautiful personality.
She really does. Mm. And it was nice that Karen and Gazelle later on got Raven and Grace to come together for a lunch and talk about going and what is it like to step outside of your parents' nest, pretty much. And Raven said it's okay if you don't have it all together right now. Just go for it. You'll learn as you go.
And you would say the same. What would you say to her?
I would say don't go until you're ready. So we have 2 different viewpoints.
But she says she is ready.
Yeah.
But I mean, how ready can you be if your mom is always putting the negative before you? Like, take this defense class and it's scary.
Yes, it definitely
You're
is.
sending her to a college, a university. They want to protect her if she stay within the guidelines. But let me tell you something. Trouble will follow us all. You know what? You could be in the right place, but at the wrong time. You understand? See, if it's meant for you, it's nothing you can do about it. But I do understand her being overly cautious, but you can't prepare your child for the inevitable because you don't know what it is. So the only thing you think is you just pray and put angels around them and give them traveling mercies and just pray that goodness follow them wherever they go. When they wake up in the morning until they lay down at night, that the traveling, that mercies is just with them and traveling angels. That's all you can do. And just know that you raised them with common sense.
Yes.
That's all I do.
That's all you can do as a mother.
That's all I could do.
Now, okay. It is now time for the big event, which is the whole conversation between Robin and Candace.
Wow. Go for it. You go first because you held yours in. I can wait.
My pet peeve mostly was the fact that Candace is a little too optimistic. She's like, I still have hope that me and Robin can work out these differences between us. But then later on say birds as a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. And I agreed with Robin right then and there. If that's how you feel, then why are we having this conversation? So really, and she tried to come off and sound like she wanted to hear Robin out. But then once Robin started pointing things out to her, she does the Candace thing, which is overtalk her and then continue to only be one-sided and put her point out there. That was my pet peeve.
Okay, now let me get on my pet peeve. My pet peeve was I had to play back over and over and over to understand Candace's logic of thinking. Now, her logic of thinking is this. Robin, when you came and you talked to my husband and I, when we were at the table, you were supporting us. You were supporting us. Mm-hmm. But then you went back and was friends with Gazelle. How could you do that? How could you say you support me and then you with Gazelle? And because you done this thing, I don't trust you. Mm-hmm. I believe that you set this up, you and what's her name?
Gazelle and Ashley.
You and Ashley and Gazelle conspired to hurt my marriage. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you also went to try to hurt your husband.
That's the wild part.
This is letting me know that Candace ain't thinking straight. Something wrong. Mm-hmm. Something. You all could say what you want. Something ain't right with her.
No,
that thinking is something skewed. Something ain't right with your mind when somebody is telling you to hurt you, to hurt me.
Yes.
She was just saying, look, she came to the, and they showed it. Mm-hmm. She came to the camera and said, I didn't think Gazelle should do it, but this is what Candace wants. Birds of a feather flock together. I think Wendy is an instigator. I think Wendy talk loud and overtalk people. Mm-hmm. I think Miss Wendy, Miss wanna be called Dr. Wendy, yes, is rude. Mm-hmm. So what does that say about you?
Exactly.
What does that say about you? Y'all are on a show together. So this is childish. I can be your friend and be her friend and still tell you I don't agree with what she does. Yep. But what she does is what she does. I'm still her friend, but you're childish. You think like a child, or your thinking is skewed because you feel as though I can't be friends with you because you friends with that woman. Let me tell you something. I don't know what went on after camera, off camera. All Gazelle said was your husband made me feel uncomfortable. Yeah. She didn't accuse him of touching her, licking her, tasting her, put his fingers on her, nothing. She only talked about a feeling. Was it right? Was it wrong? Only an individual who went through that can speak on that. Yeah. I can't say that. Right. If something made me feel uncomfortable, maybe I will say something, or maybe I won't. But a woman knows. Let me say something. We are like antennas.
Yes.
You feel everything. If your man or woman is cheating, you feel it. But you don't want to believe it, maybe because you're in denial, or maybe you don't want to feel it because, let's get to it, because you feel things.
Or you
could be in a room and a funny feeling and you'll feel it. Mm-hmm. Your body is sensitive. And we're so used to denying what we really feel, because when you go to the person and say, did you cheat? People lie.
Yes.
And so they'll say, no, that's in your mind. So you learn to doubt your own intuition. Mm-hmm. Gazelle had an intuition. And the one thing that I do see about their marriage, I'm talking about Candace and Chris. He could be a cheater, pumpkin eater. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Gazelle is his type or not. All that is irrelevant. You all can say what you want. Every last woman on that show is a beautiful woman.
Oh, yes,
so
definitely.
I'm not even going to go to that. Even Candace is attractive. She's just a little lady, but she's little girl. She just reminds me of a little girl with a grown head. That's it. But outside of that, she still attracts. She looks old in her face. Mm-hmm. But it could be the makeup, because she overly does it with makeup. She always looked too exotic, too made up for the day. But nevertheless, she is attractive. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking nothing from her like that. But So this leads me to think. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Gazelle felt a feeling. She said something. Robin, I don't agree with it. I wouldn't have said anything. That's her. And so Gazelle, and so Candace is saying, well, you still gonna be her friend. Because I'm still in this thing where I want my own group. I got Wendy in my group. I'm trying to get the other girl in my group, and you're not in my group. That's Karen's thinking. Karen thinks like that. She doesn't say it.
Yeah, that's what
Karen is a divide and conquer person.
She is.
But she always get the rejects. She never get the strong ones. She always get the rejects. She never get the ones that can think on their own. She always get those that need a mama. That needs, I need to talk to you. I need to tell you. Can you help me? She get those.
Yeah.
And so I see that Candace now is putting herself in and trying to say, I want my own group over here. And, I'm still going to be with the Grand Dame. Even though I don't like what she does, I'm not going to say much about it because I need her right now. So I'm going to be with the Grand Dame because you could tell she want to say something negative about her. But she going to do what she want to do. And yet she's trying to get the new girl.
Yes, she is.
She's trying to get the new girl. She knows she ain't never going to have Ashley because Ashley said, I'm not going to be hold to nobody. I'm going to be friends with everybody, who's ever, wherever, and that's Ashley to me. But Ashley, to me, is more closer to Gazelle and Robin.
Yes.
But she's everywhere. Would you agree?
Yes, she definitely is.
She's everywhere. And Gazelle and Robin are close. Just like Karen don't particularly care for Robin, but Karen is also close with Gazelle, and she doesn't let that interfere.
Right.
And that's where Candace is very immature. Yes, and I'm going to tell you, at the end of this conversation, the one thing that I thought was hilarious, when Robin realized this girl is a dingling head.
Yeah, she
realized this girl is just cuckoo. When she realized that the elevator was missing a floor, she just chuckled and said, girl, I guess this is over, and start eating her food while I was done. Because there was no way I could eat after that.
Yeah, I know.
And there's that stress eating.
Yeah, you're right.
I couldn't eat after that. Candace left her food and got up and walked out. Good. Because, I think Candace is worried over her marriage. Let's see what's going on.
And getting a baby.
I think she's trying to get a baby.
Probably to keep
her man. And now that she want one, she can't. But she got to get her attitude straight. Yeah. She got fidelity problems. How would she feel if somebody came and damned her with that?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, she would be definitely upset. Anything you do to Candace, she takes it.
So what we going to make her? What we going to make Candace? Be objective. I want to do a quick reading on her.
Oh, okay. Why not
marriage?
Why not a home?
Oh, baby, I'll kick it over to you.
Okay.
Read what?
I said, why not a home?
Read her home on a home.
Yes.
Home. Her home life.
Yes.
With her and her husband. Okay, I like that. Here we go. Now, Candace home life. Her and Chris. Candace home life. Well, it seems like we're going to be good. Because a lot of the cards. This is so.
Don't tell me she hiding too.
She's hiding.
Of course.
She's all the way up here. Candace home life. Jeez, Candace. Where you at, gal?
Not even. Oh, there she is.
There she is. Jeez, Louise.
Right next to the sexy man.
Oh, I did that more.
The magnifying glass still popped up.
Yeah. Ooh. Bottom. But this is the top. No.
Yeah, that is the bottom.
This is the bottom. This is the bottom. And the ring is the top.
Oh, interesting.
The ring is the top. The bottom. So what I like to do, I like to do them like this so we could see what it is. So let's take a look at it, baby Crone. I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell you what I see. It's not really that bad.
No, it's interesting for a family life, though.
It's interesting. It just seems like to me, this one male shows up and he seems like he's a sexy man.
Yes.
This seems like a man that's out there. They get flush with women. I call this card the sexy man.
Yes, we do.
I call this card because there's two men in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
One is a conservative man, you know, with a rose. This is what I call, you see my body. So he's a sexy man. And if this is what, I'm going to just go by my intuition. He's a sexy man. And I think with being sexy, when Gazelle said that she felt tension from him, it rose something up in Candace because Candace know that she's insecure about her husband. She's insecure about him. And because he shows up, and this is in the present, here I see the sun. But then this don't add right to me because underneath of the sun is a sickle. Mm-hmm. So something is cutting away. So if I go to the present, what I see is a tree. So I see Candace is trying to build that family lineage, but for whatever reason, it's not working in her favor. Mm-hmm. She's trying to build it. She's trying to get him. She's trying to land him in. I don't know if Candace is 100% trying to do it or if Candace is 50% and trying to do it. And the reason why I have mixed feelings because Candace made it clear at one point that she just didn't want to have children. Then it was, I just don't want to have no children now. And I wonder if Candace have a fear of pregnancy or being pregnant or stretching out her body. I'm getting a funny feeling that something is psychologically going on with Candace with that. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know what I'm wrong, but I do see a whip that is a whip. There is something going on in their marriage that keep a lot of strife. And I do believe it's probably her husband not being home because she's traveling a lot. So when she's home, he's not. His job is ongoing, where her job is, I got a gig, I got to go away, I got to do this show, I got to do that. Where his gig is more permanent. In the future, this would be the garden.
Yes.
So in the future, I see a garden. So here, when I see on top, I see a husband. I see a family tree that I don't think, because I think he have children already. So I don't see him really trying to get her pregnant like that at this juncture. I could be wrong, but I do see that he's around a lot of people. Okay. He's around a lot of people, a lot of women. He's around a lot of women. And also what I see is when I see their house, when I see up top, I do see maybe he does want for her to have a child. But because he's not in the show and I don't really like to speculate, I'm only going to go by what I feel. And right now, I don't feel like he's trying to have a baby right now. I don't think that's the priority thing on his mind at this moment. I don't think so. However, if she gets pregnant, I don't think he's going to be unhappy. I just don't see that. I see that Chris has gone off and made a whole new world for himself. I think he's through with the Housewives of the Housewives of Potomac. And I think that when he left the show, I think she lost a part of him.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. She can't keep her hands on him like she used to. This is what I'm seeing. Also, I see the sun. I'm a little perplexed about the sun because right here at the sun, I see the house. And on the other side of the house, I see somebody got a close eye on it, a close eye on what's going on, what they're doing. So and that sun to me, it just seemed like it's illuminating. Something is going to start coming out about them. I don't see this sun as shining on them like a good thing. I see this sun shining on them like saying, this is a rickety-dickety house and everything in it ain't as good, ain't as it seemed. And I think this is why Candace can't get over it.
Okay.
So it's like you said this about my husband, which was a year or so ago. You said this about 2 years ago, I think. You said this about my husband. She has not yet to get over it. No. And that is because because still waters run deep. She knows that it's about her husband she don't trust. You understand? She knows that her husband has the propensity to cheat. She knows him. And here I see a whip. Okay, and she can't whip him into shape. She can't sweep it because I'm getting the feeling he's about that money and he's trying to make his life where I don't need her Candace family or her for nothing. And I'm seeing he's out to make that money. He's out to make that money, and I'm going to say it. I see him as a flirt, and I see that they're married. I think there's a lot of secret things that's going on, but the light is shining on it, and I think Candace is taking it out on what happened with Gazelle, because that's the only thing, because it's easy to blame somebody else when you're insecure about something that you don't want to miss. And I see a dog is here. So once upon a time where he was faithful, where he was there, he ain't there like that no more.
Okay.
That's my read. Because I see their marriage in jeopardy. And having a baby ain't going to fix it. And right under that is books. And right under that is mask. And right under that is fish. What do you mean? Fish, money. This is about him making money. What do you mean? This is about mask. This is about masking. This is not being honest, as the card said earlier. This is about books, meaning knowledge is hidden, but will be open soon. We're going to hear a lot. Let's just be patient about this thing. Things are going to start happening, because just like that Robin said at the table, there are things I will say about my marriage, but there are things I cannot, and to keep people out of it. And
Yes.
Candace said she agreed, like there is something going on that I can't talk about. But her need to be friends with Robin is because she want to share, but Robin ain't giving her no play. No, because you betrayed me. And with a friend like that, who needs an enemy? Now, you want to go ahead on, you think you can go in and say something on that?
Okay. At least the way I had interpreted.
Go ahead, do it.
Okay.
Don't.
Was,
Please.
I mean, of course, the sexy man, I obviously saw as her husband, because we're talking about their marriage.
And why would a sexy man be up there for a married man? The other card, no, he's flirty. He's flirty.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not me. Do you see that? Because
yes, at least, and to make.
But let me say this, from the outward appearance to us right now, because they don't talk anything about their marriage. Mm-mm. Everything that come up about their marriage has to deal with Gazelle. And so from that appearance, the sun is shining, but it's shining brightly, but it's shining something more sinister, something deeply going on in their marriage. That I do want to clear that up and make that point clear. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry. I'm quiet.
For me to make the sun make sense, the way I saw it is that the way Candace views her husband is someone very attractive, and maybe she has to cut, at least in the past, had to cut away females from always trying to come towards him. And maybe that's why, again, we have this dog with a leash trying to keep him on a leash and make him a loyal, faithful dog.
I like that. I like that. I see where you're going. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
And here in the present.
Because there's that wedding ring.
Yes. Here in the present. Sorry, that tree was upside down.
Oh, okay. You know, I can't see.
I know. And Candace is really trying to revive her home life. And another way to look at the whip is also a broom. And maybe she's trying to purge and get things out of her life or out of her home that's going to put stress on her marriage. And we see in the future, we have the public's eye really looking in on her marriage because of the magnifying glass. And maybe Candace might feel pressured to make some moves, maybe for the job, because they did say it's a fine line between what you can say to the public and what you got to keep private. They
did make that clear at the dinner.
And maybe that's how she's feeling, that she's starting to come to that point where she might, if the public starts looking a little too closely, she's going to have to be open and speak about what's going on in her marriage. And at the end, we did see the ring. So, that
her marriage,
yes,
her marriage have cracks in it.
Yes, and marriages. Actually, I did find this out very interestingly doing a little bit of study. The ring can also signify sacrifices that you have to make to be in a commitment.
Go ahead on, baby Crone. But that's what it takes to be married. Marriage is a sacrifice. Being in a relationship is a sacrifice. But it should be a good sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that I make. When it gets boring, I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be loyal. When things get rough and tough, I'm going to be here. But I do see a loyal dog. And you're right. This is a puppy that makes it loyal and cuddly at the same time. But I definitely see that their marriage is, even though they're older, it seems like it's in a puppy stage, immature stage. You understand what I'm saying? The more you look, it seems like it's immature. They've been married for several years. It should be more mature, but they still going over things that are petty. Even though
Candace is petty.
Yes, even though financially they are really winning. They're on the winning for the finances. And I think Candace is starting to see, now that she doesn't need her mother financially like she used to anymore, I think she's starting to see that this is deeper than that.
Okay.
Because Chris is just not around anymore. So with that being said, I want to know, is Chris happy in this relationship?
That's a good one.
I see the star. And whenever a hope card comes up, no. Because why are you hoping if you're happy?
Yeah. Sorry, Candace. It just might be your attitude.
Why am I hoping? So he's hoping that she gets pregnant, or I hope that she find what makes her happy. I hope that, that she stopped fussing and griping, because she talked to him like a daggone, the way she used to talk to Christopher. I don't know if his name Christopher. The way she talked to Chris, it was a sin and a shame the way she emasculated him. So she was a lot like her mother, but now I don't see her mother like that. I don't know how true that is, but I always like Candace's mother, because one thing about Candace's mother, she was always honest. But now it seems like Candace has become a mother. However, we can't blame Candace's mother for the way that Candace is, because Candace is a grown woman. And Candace is married to Chris, and Candace got a filthy mouth, and Candace take pleasure in having a filthy mouth.
Yes,
she does nothing to change it, because she sees it as her own personal thing, and she will find herself alone. I'm going to say this. I don't see this marriage lasting. This is where I see it right now. It's like the calm before the storm. It's like on top. It's like on top. It's like the tree of life. It's like the garden. It's like the sexy man. It's like I got everything. But in the middle, it's like everything appears to be good, but you're insecure. So you're always judging and finding fault on everything he does. But at the bottom, all I see is a sickle and a broom and a whip and a ships, and I'm out of here. That's what I see. Like, I ain't gonna stick around. I will work myself to death. And being out there in the world is where I believe Chris find freedom. And I think their marriage is still in a puppy dog stage. That's
and
what
not
I
the good
think.
kind.
And not the good kind. But nevertheless, you have a question. How is their sex life?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yikes.
Not very good.
That might explain why she's struggling to get pregnant too.
Could be. And as I say, everything I say is allegedly. All I do is pull out cards. And I'm telling you, this is a 9. So this is sleepless nights. He's probably not home. He's probably, just things going through her mind. But I'm telling you, Candace's thinking was so off.
It definitely
that I know that this is truth.
Yes, I mean, who would want to target their own marriage?
Yeah, it's off. And for her to think like that.
Yes, and let me know. 10 toes down on it.
Yeah, let me know she's skewed. Her thinking is off. Because you shouldn't, that's a negative thinking. To say, I can't be your friend because the friend who you are. Yes, we say that. But I'm not gonna hate you and down you and talk about you. This is what I'm thinking that Robin is saying.
And she's so unapologetic. She doesn't see anything she does wrong.
And if she's like that, imagine how she is in her marriage. Imagine how she is, period.
Yeah.
So I rest my case. We'll come back and read again. The next marriage that I want to read on next week, if something don't come up, is the new girl. That is that her? The one who husband. Am I getting that mixed up with somebody else?
Yes, I do think you are. But I would like a reading next week on NECA to see how Her relationship.
That's what I'm saying, Necca.
Oh.
The one that husband is a doctor.
Yes.
Necca is the lawyer.
Yeah.
And Necca is the husband that's go and travel and all that. I definitely want to read on him. He's the chauvinist, right?
Yes, he is a chauvinist.
He's a chauvinist.
Yeah, especially when he was at that
doctor's office, at the gynecologist. This is why I would never go to a male gynecologist. Never. Why would I go to a male gynecologist that only know in theory about a woman? I will go to a woman because at least she can sympathize. And I'm not saying all women are good gynecologists, Jackie.
Yes, we're going to talk about that next time.
And every time I see her, I always thought that she looked evil, but she just looked bitter. And now, even though she tries to make her opinion, I can't. Once somebody done tainted you, you're tainted in my eyes.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
And plus, when I ain't really feel you anyway, but that's a horse of another color.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we hope that you enjoyed our readings, and we hope that you enjoyed our commentary on what is it?
Real Housewives.
Real Housewives of Potomac. Like now, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing readings on my readings when I talk about these people. I hope you join us. If not, we miss you, but I hope you join us. I find it interesting, and it gives you an insight and another way to look at something. And with that being said, Baby Crone, do you have anything else to say?
No, Baby Crone does not have anything else to say. Thank you for joining us.
We so appreciate you being here. And with that being said, what do we say? Sunflowers.